Over the years, there were many Star Wars Battlefront games, some good, some not so good, but today we will be going over the first two by Pandemic Studios. Generally, Battlefront 2 has better graphics. Here are some examples. As you've just seen by the graphics, in the second game, they look a lot better, but they are also kind of similar in the same way. But they're just more polished and better, like, resolution on the textures and shadows and all that stuff. Technically, in both games, there was a campaign mode, but it was a lot better and more like a campaign in the second game. In the first game, you'd basically go through all the maps with a bit of different gameplay compared to instant action, which is like the main mode if you want to go into a map. But in the second game, it was more like an actual story. The story was that you were the 501st, and over time you would become a stormtrooper, like after being a clone trooper. But generally, the fan base really loved the campaign in the second game. Another key difference between the two games is that in the original, you couldn't play as heroes or villains. You could see AI playing as them, but you couldn't actually play as them yourself. But in the second game, you actually could, and the heroes and villains were actually really fun in the second game, and it was a missed opportunity in the first one, especially when you could see the AI running around as them, but you couldn't play as it. The movement was also mostly similar in the two games, but there were some key differences. For instance, in the first one, you could actually prone, and they removed that in the second game, but in the first game you couldn't sprint, and it was added in the second game. So they both had their different movement mechanics, but that was pretty much it. This is probably the most loved mode in the game, Galactic Conquest. It was in both games, but it was a little bit more primitive in the first one. Like, for instance, there were extra bonuses in the second game, and there wasn't any space battles in the first game, and in Conquest mode, you had the space battles in the second game, so it was a little bit more primitive than the first one. But everyone still loves Galactic Conquest. In my opinion, I love both of these games a lot. They each have their own charm to them. But if I was going to play one of them, it would probably be the second one, just because it's a lot more polished and has a little bit more gameplay and content. But they're both still very good, and even to this day, they pretty much hold up. I mean, they're a little bit aged, but they're still pretty fun to play today. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.